Hi everyone, I'm here in Westwood right now, and the recent passing of James Caan. He died at Ronald Reagan Medical Center, and I'm not quite sure where his house was.
So this is James Caan's last home. Thank you, Richard Kapler, for that information.
But the most curious thing about James Caan was an incident that happened in a building that we're going to go see in front now. And I'll tell you, actually, I'm going to read you the story of what happened in this building because it's pretty interesting and it involves James Caan. So let's go to the front. So this is the Wilshire Corridor. You know what's funny is that could be the spot where Sharon Tate picked up the hitchhiker in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think it's literally right there that Sharon Tate, Margot Robbie in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood picked up the hitchhiker and they drove down to Westwood, which is in that direction. But here we are at 10401 Wilshire Boulevard. And we're here because of an incident that took place a few years ago.
Before we get into this particular incident, I'll give you a quick rundown about the end of James Caan. Born in the Bronx, James Caan made a name for himself with Hollywood movies like Brian's Song, Cinderella Liberty, and Rollerball, but most famously for portraying Sonny Corleone in the 1972 film The Godfather, which won him an Oscar nomination. While studying for the role, he became friends with real-life crime boss Carmine the Snake Persico, who ended up on the FBI 10 Most Wanted list. That's how rumors about Caan being involved with organized crime began. Caan reportedly improvised the phrase "bada bing" after hearing it from Carmine.
What do you think this is, the army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get up close like this, bada bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit. Come here.
Despite being heavy into alcohol and smoking, and he once entered rehab for a blow habit, he was still honored by the International Karate Association and a 6th Dan Master. He was also a professional rodeo cowboy for 9 years. He won big in Hollywood again with films like Honeymoon in Vegas, Misery, and Elf. Described as a tough guy but a really nice guy, James Caan, in failing health for several years, died at the Ronald Reagan Medical Center of a heart attack on July 6, 2022. Reading directly from the tabloid, Tinseltown tough guy James Caan has been swept up into another violent controversy. This time it's over a junkie's death plunge from the 8th floor of an LA apartment, and the actor's friends fear it could hurt his career. LA cops hauled Caan off to the West Hollywood station and grilled him for 10 grueling hours about Mark Allen Schwartz, the 25-year-old victim. Schwartz, who had a history of arrests for burglary, theft, and drugs, fell to his death from apartment 807 at 10401 Wilshire Boulevard, while James Caan was visiting a friend who rents the place. A neighbor says, "At 4 a.m. I heard the sound of breaking glass. Then I heard a big thud. I thought it was a cat falling from a balcony, but I didn't check." Another tenant found Schwartz's battered body 3 hours later and called the police. Describing it, the whole right side of his face was bloodied, and his left ankle looked twisted and broken. Apartment 807 was leased by Yusuf Ahmed, a mutual friend of Caan and Schwartz. Caan says he went there to review movie scripts and that Schwartz arrived later, drunk. After climbing an outside fire escape to the 8th floor, cops say Schwartz tried to leap onto Ahmed's balcony and missed, falling to the pavement below. Caan says he slept through it all. He was probably drunk or high. Police literally had to break down the door. Caan says he got the shock of his life. "There were 10 policemen with guns pointing at me," he said. He also added, "It was terrible for a 25-year-old kid to die like that. He tried to jump across the balcony and fell." A tenant claims Caan had visited many times before. "He's in and out at all hours of the day," said the resident. "He parks his Harley downstairs. I seen him look really dazed and nervous." After police released Caan, they announced that he was in the clear and that Schwartz had died from an accidental fall.
And he landed in that grassy patch, as you can see, covered up, so there's no gruesomeness. And you can see that brick wall. Schwartz is seen by the building entering the lobby elevator around that time. Moments later, he would have arrived. This is a lot. Meanwhile, Schwartz was last seen by building doorman. There we go. Schwartz's father, Arnold, says police informed him that Caan, now 75, didn't answer the door when they arrived. This is after the... I was told he had taken a sedative, and that's why he slept through. My son pounding on the door, and their knocks as well. They said a locksmith had to open up the door. What's more, the coroner investigator notes there were peculiar parallel abrasions to the left side, Schwartz's abdomen, that they could not account for. Private investigator who reviewed the coroner's report for the Globe says it's possible those abrasions were sustained during a scuffle that was heard by neighbors. It clearly raises more questions. So this is the spot, 10401 Wilshire Boulevard.
Here's an interesting bit of trivia. 27 years prior to this, June 19th, 1966, comedian Ed Wynn died in this building.
I'm having such a good time. I wish that you could all stay up here all the time.
Well, Charlie won't have to. There's no way to get down.
Oh, there is a way. Frankly, I don't like to mention it. Because
Ed died of cancer. At that time, he was working on the production The Gnome-Mobile. It was released a year later. Interesting side note to that, The Gnome-Mobile co-starred Cammie Sebring, who at one time was married to Jay Sebring. We all know who he was. I want to especially thank my late friend, author E.J. Fleming, for some of the information that I used. Thank you again, Richard, for your information. Thank you so much to the people who are sponsoring my page by the Patreon link below or the PayPal link below. Nina Branson, Mary Beth Friel, and Debbie Clark. Your support means everything to me, and it means I can continue doing what I do. And to everyone watching, please like, please subscribe, and hit the little bell button just to the right of the subscribe button below, and you'll be notified when I upload new videos. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your attention, and until next time. You heard me.